is the blueprint. I'm going to share my screen. Cool. So this is the blueprint, Artist Essentials. So I'll just be talking a little bit about a few things that us as artists, as creatives, can use for all sorts of things, from our EPKs to our websites to applications, if that's your thing, when it comes to grant proposals or any type of medium where you have to express what you do as a creative, as an artist, as a musician, as somebody who produces something. You have to communicate what you do. So these are a few basics. The information here right now at 2 o'clock will also be useful for the later sessions from my collaborators through D.Cipher, my partners, Nick Love Rhodes, Sophia E, and today our special guest, DJ Stacy J. So this information will continue on throughout the day in the next sessions. So again, thank you Startup Week for having us, and it's great to be here for the second year. So a little bit about me. I am Wayne Ramocan. I also go by Joo-Nee. I am a co-founder of D.Cipher and a Detroit musician for the past 2 decades here in the city. D.Cipher, D-C-I-P-H-E-R, is Detroit's music mastermind group. And we're made of artists, musicians, organizers, and advocates. What we do, we host live events at places like the Detroit Distillery and Eastern Market, at the Quitter Cut, and also downtown at Music Town Studios. We activate those spaces with our craft. We also are based out of the East Side from the legendary Red Carpet Lounge. So we will be taking full residence starting this summer in that space at the Red Carpet Lounge is our hub. So please visit our website, dcipher.org/collab, dcipher.org/collab. You can sign up there to learn more about D.Cipher. There we go. I just put the website up, and that is my email address. So you can go to that website, sign up for information about D.Cipher, but also access some of the materials that we will be using today. We will be sending those out as long as you share your email address with us. We're also open for sponsorships and individual contributions, which you will see on that same page. Again, dcipher.org/collab. So just want to get into a little overview about today. And today we're just going to run through about 3 things, just a few basics. And I'm sure a lot of you may have these materials already, but these are things that we need to continue refining throughout our development, throughout our career, throughout our evolution of whatever we create. So even if you have these things, this is a great time to go back and polish it. If you do not have any of these materials, then this would be a great first toe into that water, scratching the surface. There's a lot more to dig into, but we'll continue refining even after this session. So what we'll do today, we'll dig a little bit into a sort of elevator pitch. I have something that I'm calling the sounds like formula. And this is something that just helps you provide a reference for what your craft is like. For people who are just meeting you for the first time, this can help them conceptualize what you sound like or what your art is like in whatever form it takes. We'll dig a little bit into the artist bio. Many of you are familiar with bios, but we'll dig a little bit into it, especially into a creative type of point of view. And we'll also use this elevator formula and insert that into our bio. And lastly, PROs. PROs, not just pros, but it's professional rights organizations. This is something sort of by special request. I've been getting a lot of people that I've been doing one-on-ones with, and they've been asking me, like, what do I do as far as, ASCAP versus BMI? And this is pretty much, This is not that confusing, but it is a little bit to dig into to understand how they work. So I'll just go through the basic registration as far as signing up for it and what that means when it comes to writer and publisher. There's two sides of it. And then also, if we have time, I'll dig a little into registering a song and how those splits work, those percentages or points, as you may have heard it. So today, again, we're reviewing basic information that newcomers to your craft want to know about you. And again, we'll be revisiting this again and again, at least every few months. You should be doing this. Materials will be on our site. Please visit to share your email address with us. So, okay. So the first part is the sounds like formula. So basically, this is pretty simple. This simple math. It's A plus B with a little bit of C. So what we're going to do is grab a pen. I should have mentioned that a little bit earlier. But grab a pen, open your notes, have something that you can write with so that we can do these exercises. You can continue, of course, doing this after the session, but we're going to start jotting some things down and just searching for, some terms or some ideas that can help you build your bio and these other materials. Okay, so again, if you have your paper or your notes open, I give you about 5 more seconds. Okay, I think we should be there. I don't have access to the chat right now, so I won't be interacting on chat, but hopefully everybody's with me. So the first step is to think about artist A. What we're getting at is a reference. What we're going to have at the end of this A plus B with C is a reference so people know what you sound like or your art is like. So think about artist A. What does your sound like? This is not that you copy artist A. This is just a reference. Again, this is what is one element of your music. You don't want to just throw out genres. This is not the time to just throw out genres because, people think about genres in different ways. Even though we have names for them, categories, people still think about genres in a certain type of way. So let's help them get a closer reference of what your music in this case is like. So think about an artist A. In my case, I'm a drummer. So I like the Roots. The Roots and Questlove, Black Thought, I grew up on those guys, and they influenced a lot of my style. Obviously, I don't copy their work, but I still, even to this day, admire their work. So I would choose for artist A, the Roots. Anybody else? Maybe Ryan, you can help me out if you see anybody in the chat. But if you have any artists, if anybody wants to share, just throw out an artist name that you're choosing that sounds like you, or you sound like them, however you want to frame it. Artist A.
Who's some artist A's out there? Who's artist A do we have?
Artist A. Somebody just feel free, throw something out there. Who is your artist A? My sound is like artist A. Okay.
We got Spinderella in the house. Spinderella.
Who's that?
DJ Stacy J. Her artist A is Spinderella.
Spinderella. Thank you, Stacy J. Spinderella. Okay. So that's artist A. All right. Let's move on. Okay. I think I skipped one. Artist B, this should say. Artist B. So now that you chose artist A, choose another artist that influenced your sound. Maybe somebody that you have maybe a certain type of texture that's similar, or maybe you use similar instruments if you use a specific type of instrument. Maybe it's not music, maybe it's visual art. Think about artist B. Again, this is somebody that's similar to your craft? Artist B. Okay. So I'll give a few seconds before we move on. And right now you should have artist A plus artist B. And we're going to add this up really soon. Don't fret. I know this says artist C. This should be B.
Any artist B's in the house?
Artist B. Okay, well, we can move on. So now that you have artist B, we'll go on to the actual artist C. So artist C. Now this is not the same as artist A and B. Artist A and B was kind of similar to your sound or your craft. This artist C is somebody that's kind of on the perimeter of your sound or your craft. Artist C. Think about an artist that, you know, you don't have the same sound, but maybe you read the same books that they do. You know, maybe there's some sort of information that informs what you do as well. And there's some sort of similarity behind the scenes. Maybe it's an artist that's not even in your genre at all. Maybe you just have a certain writing style. I know, for instance, as an example, there's a lot of Tennessee artists, which is country music. There are a lot of Tennessee artists that write their asses off. I don't play country music, but I do admire some of the country writers down in Tennessee. So in that case, choose an artist that is kind of on the fringes of your sound or your craft. Artist C. So I'll give you a second. And again, we're not copying any of these artists. We're just giving people a frame of reference so that they can understand what your art is like. So think about artist C. So we should have artist A and artist B, which are pretty similar to your craft. Now artist C, it's on the fringes. Okay.
Pretty quiet out there. You all are just one of a kind, huh?
All right, give it just a couple more seconds.
We got Bach.
Who?
Bach.
Bach?
B-A-C-H. Am I saying it right?
Oh, Bach. Okay.
Yes.
Word. Bach. Classic.
Classical.
Real classic. Word. I love it. Okay. So now that we have those three artists, artists A, B, and C, now we're just going to simply add it up. And as a frame of reference, we'll use this in a minute. So you should have something like where you can add it up. My sound is artist A meets artist B with a sprinkle of artist C. Okay, so as an example, I'll give you mine, right? One example that I can use is my sound can be thought of as the Roots meets the Neptunes with a sprinkle of J Dilla. Okay, anybody want to share theirs? Very simple formula, but it does wonders for helping people understand what your craft is about. If you have something to share, just drop it in the comments. Ryan, can you read if you see anything come through?
I sure will. You're getting a lot of love right now.
Okay.
Shannon says your formula is dope and the net is such vibes. Blair says you have a nice combination. I'm so interested to hear someone else's combination as well.
Word. Word. Well, I'll be pulling up my website in a second, so you will. I won't play it, but you could tune in. All right, cool. So I think we are on our way.
Real quick from Drew, he says the best one from Drew Michael says the best one he's ever heard from an artist is the post-punk Johnny Cash at a homoerotic dance party.
Yeah, post-punk Johnny Cash at a homoerotic dance party. I love it. And see, even with that one, I'm glad you dropped that in, because that's a great example of taking this simple formula and elevating it to that next level, adding some imagery or adding some more texture or feeling to it, so that people are tuning in. So again, we're talking about in the context of an elevator pitch, and this is pretty much what you're opening up with, right? So we know the concept of an elevator pitch is to be compelling in the snap of a finger or the few seconds of an elevator ride. So when you're able to give a reference of what your craft is like, again, not that we're copying, but we want to give people something to hold on to very quickly without spilling our whole bio. We don't have time for that all the time.
Right. Okay. Dominique contributes. She said, Dominique, she says, nerd with Rage Against the Machine meets Jay-Z.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Yeah. NERD, Rage Against the Machine.
NERD, thank you.
And Jay-Z. I like that Pharrell connect. I love it. Great example, Neek. Much appreciated. So cool. Now that we have this simple formula, we're going to be using this again in our bio, and we could just even use it by itself. You know, if somebody just asks you, so what is your music like? You know, what do you sound like? What do you do? You know, this is something that you can easily have, and you can have different versions of it. You know, you could insert different artists now that you have the formula. Okay. So now we'll just work it into an elevator pitch, more of the traditional elevator pitch that we're used to working. And what this is, just for people who, let me advance my slides. Okay. Yeah, so there we go. So elevator pitch, what it is, right? It's a verbal statement about you and your craft and what you do. Your elevator pitch is a way to share your expertise and credentials quickly and effectively with people who don't know who you are. When is it used? Done correctly, this short speech helps you introduce yourself in a compelling way. I like to say sticky, something that sticks. It can help you build your network, land a gig, or connect with new collaborators. Those are the people that you would use it with, okay? So an example of an elevator pitch with our reference formula sounds like, my example would be, my sound can be thought of as the Roots meets Neptunes with the essence of J Dilla. I record in the studio and in the field, and I'm premiering a sonic installation that explores Afro-Caribbean celebrations. I'm looking for an 80-foot yacht to make this exhibition possible. Can you assist? So that's an example, very short example of an elevator pitch. So let's break that down, okay? At the top, we have our reference. My sound can be thought of as the Roots meets Neptunes with an essence of J Dilla. Next, we have a little bit of your skills right here. Share your skills. So again, with your notes or your pen and pad, think about a few skills that you have. In this short little sentence, I said, I record in the studio and in the field. That's my little blurb about my skills. So what do you do? What is your skill? Is it music, performance? Is it visual art? Is it some sort of design? What do you do? Simply, very short, just a few words. Okay? One or two things. Okay, yeah. Next up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, there was a comment?
Yep, there's a graphic design.
Perfect.
Graphic design.
So in the graphic design context, you may talk about, you know, you do graphic design, but maybe you want to describe it in a little bit more detail. Maybe there's a specific sort of design that you like. Maybe it's animation involved. Maybe there's, you know, some other form. I'm not too familiar with all the designs, but you could list one or two specific things that you do in design. Okay. Third, number 3 is you want to mention your goals, right? So this changes over time, just depending on what you're doing. But you want to mention kind of what you're working on, but then also what you need help with. So this elevator pitch isn't just to talk about yourself, but you want to use this to help you take action and pull people on your side to help you take action. So after you talk about your skills, now you want to talk about what you are doing now and mention your goals and what you need to make that happen. So in this example, I said, I'm premiering a sonic installation that explores Afro-Caribbean celebrations. I'm looking for an 80-foot yacht to make this exhibition possible. So I want to do a sound installation on a yacht, but I have no friends with a yacht at this moment. So I'm asking this person I just met in the elevator, can you help me find a yacht? Right? This is what I'm trying to do, and this is what I need to get there. So you want to have these things based on whatever you're doing in your work. What are you doing now, and what do you need? What kind of actions or next steps do you have in your goal that you still need help accomplishing? So I'll give you a minute just to think about that. Think about yourself. What are you doing right now? And what do you need help with to make that happen? Are you working on a project? Are you working on an album? Are you working on one song? Okay. So again, just to recap for a second, you want to have your reference formula at the top, A plus B with C. You want to share a little bit of what you do quickly. You want to talk about your goal, what you're doing, and what it takes to get there, what you need help with. And the last thing, which is pretty obvious, is you want to exchange contact info. So this can take place with a card, traditionally, or exchanging contacts on your phone, or whatever you use to exchange contacts, but you want to have it ready. Typically what I do, in my phone, I have my contact already dialed in. I have you know, all my notes in there. I even have my birthday if people want to know it. And I just share that with people. And I found that that's a more comprehensive way of sharing all my information, including my website. And it's easy for people to tap. You know, you can easily text your, excuse me, you can easily text your contact info to people and they can typically save it pretty easily. So whatever you do, have something to share. Share your contact information. If it's direct by phone, share it. If it's your website where they can listen to more of your music and find out more about you, share it. If it's your social media and you prefer social media, share that. But make sure that you walk away with each other's information. So again, just to recap, we have 4 parts: your craft, your skills, your goals, which you need help with, and your information. Those are the 4 parts. And I'll just run through my example one more time. My sound can be thought of as the Roots meets the Neptunes with a sprinkle of J Dilla. I record in the studio and in the field, and I'm premiering a sonic installation that explores Afro-Caribbean celebrations. I'm looking for an 80-foot yacht to make this exhibition possible. Can you assist? Yes, no, whatever the answer is, and exchange information. Okay. So typically your elevator pitch with your reference of what you do, what you sound like, should only take about 15 to 60 seconds. So it is not long. That's why it's so short, and that's why we're starting with this. So just a few takeaways. Just a few takeaways about the elevator pitch and the reference. You want to focus on the essentials. Say who you are, what you do, and what you want to achieve. Okay? You want to be memorable. Again, I think about this as being sticky. You want something that sticks. Your time is limited, so focus on what you want to do, not what you don't want to do, and make sure that you are upbeat and flexible. Flexible meaning that you're updating it with what you're doing in this moment and what you need help with. You want to be flexible in thinking about what's happening next and what you need help with, okay? And then lastly, practice. Of course, you want to deliver your mini speech to a friend or record it in your phone so that you can be sure that your message is clear. All right, so I'll leave that right there. Ryan, do we have any questions? Anybody have questions about the elevator pitch and this A plus B sounds like formula?
So far, it's looking like everybody is clear on the concept.
Okay.
No.
Looking good?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So if you have any questions, feel free. I'll be stopping again in a second. So we're going to continue to the bio. So everybody should already have a bio. But again, this is just a great time to update it. We want to be updating our bio at least, twice a year, quarterly, 4 times a year, even more if you're just an avid writer. But the reason why you're updating your bio is because this is you, not only your history, but this is also, what you are as an artist, and that changes, that evolves. So you want to make sure that this document evolves with you. So in the context of your website, and this is all this material are things that you put on your website. Even some of the material from this elevator pitch, you're putting on your website, on your about page. So the bio is one of the most important parts of your page. And sometimes I know it's not easy to write about yourself, but it is super important to make your work look professional. So I'm sure everybody has run into it where you're being featured on something, or even just an application for your business, or just whatever the case is. You typically need some sort of bio to talk about your work, and a great bio will create the first impression that you want to leave with people who visit your website or come across you for the first time. So what elements do you need to craft an effective bio? You want an engaging introduction. Okay, an engaging introduction. Okay, so again, take your pen and pad, if you're old school, or open your notes back up, and we're gonna work through this bio. Again, this is surface level because we only have an hour, but let's work through this bio. Again, if you have one already, we're just refining it. So make a few notes on a piece of paper and jot down your name, where you're from, and what you sound like. What you sound like, this is that formula that we just used. My sound is A plus B with a touch of C. Okay? So first thing, for your bio, jot down your name, where you're from, what you sound like. Just wave at me, please, if you're finished with that, or when you're finished with that. Simple wave would do. A little hello. Jot down your name, where you're from, city and state. It's very helpful. Okay. And as we continue, we're going to think about our tone. And depending on your style of music, your personality, your other art crafts, you may want to inject some humor or some sort of personality, some flavor into your words. Okay. So next is the background information. I'll just leave this slide here for a second. Keep on writing. Your background information. Include some relevant background information, including your history, music history, if you're in music, but keep it short. Who have you studied under? Maybe, you know, maybe this is a little bit of academic schooling, or maybe it's just, you know, flavors that you picked up over the years. Include some relevant background information. Even some of your heritage could help. You want to be sure to keep your visitors engaged. So don't ramble on and use lengthy words or paragraphs. So keep it simple. Just some relevant background information. You want to write your bio in third person. As you're giving this background information, you want to write it in third person. So website or not, wherever your bio ends up, this helps just for the tone of it, and it will make it easy to understand, quick to scan, and it will also, on your website, help with the search engine optimization, the SEO. So when you're writing in first person, as in Wayne Ramocan, or the artists that go by Joo-Nee, I'm not saying I'm saying Juuni, or I'm saying Wayne's influence, or Wayne's music background. Okay, so it allows media, bloggers, venues, anybody who's looking to find out more about you. It also lets them just cut and paste your words. So that's the most important thing. Again, as you're still writing, you want to craft your words to make it easy to cut and paste, because you say, you talk about yourself the best. You know, people don't know you like you know yourself. So again, first person. Okay, so back to a description of your music, just to get a little deeper into it. Add a quick description of what your music is like. So the formula that we talked about, but also dig into it a little bit. Talk about what you're currently up to with your music. You know, any projects that you're working on, you're in the studio, maybe these are some collaborators that you've worked with. You want to choose relevant information again. If you want to make this timely as well. So this is a good time to, again, update, especially if you are releasing something within, you know, say the next week or next month or something. You want to add that information in there. Again, any collaborators that you've been working with for a while, feel free to name them as well. Okay. So again, we're choosing relevant information, recent information. We have a description of what our music is like. We're just adding up the pieces. Okay, just giving you a little bit of time. Ryan, feel free to stop me if anything pops up.
Just a friendly warning that Q&A session is in about 2 minutes.
Okay. 2 minutes.
So no pressure there. I know we got.
So I'll breeze through it. It's so much to talk about. The last time we did this workshop, it was about 4 hours. Okay. So our bio. Now what we're going to add is a few more things, highlights and achievements. We just want to have a list of highlights. Some of you may have a CV, resume. We're not going to get into those today, but you want to think about everything that you've accomplished with your craft, with your music, your design. Have you opened for a well-known artist? Have you played big festivals? Have you charted on the radio? Have you had success on streaming platforms? You want to put those numbers in there. If those numbers are significant, you want to put them in there. Have you been nominated for any awards? Have you won any awards? List your achievements. Again, if you have a CV or a resume, this should be pretty simple, because this is where you use that. You just pick the highlights, especially if you have a CV, which could get pretty lengthy. You just want to choose probably some of the most recent, and then also, if you dig further back, the most significant to you. Highlights and achievements. Do not exaggerate or embellish. So just stick to the facts, but make sure you present them in a positive, presentable way. Okay, career highlights and achievements. Next up, breezing through this, media quotes. We're listing any quotes that you may have garnered through the media. Anything about your sound, anything about your latest album, any projects that you have out. This will lend some authority to your bio, some credibility, and it's a nice way to show others that you were talking professionally about your music and about your craft. So if you don't have any media quotes yet, that's okay, but just make sure that, again, with your CV and your resume, you're keeping track of all of these. Links help. One thing that I would mention is that links sometimes fail. So if you have something that's on a website, make sure you download the PDF version. That's something I always try to do, is have PDF backups of media clippings. So remember how we used to clip out the newspaper? This is like the 2020 version of that. We're saving the PDF version so that we don't lose it. Sometimes websites fail. Okay. So just to run back through what we have so far, excuse me. We have an engaging introduction, background information, description of your music, and career highlights and achievements, and we have some media quotes. Lastly, we're going to add some up-to-date information. So always update your bio page and your EPK for a musician with any new projects, releases, collaborations, or upcoming tours. And make sure to add any new accomplishments as they happen. So again, this is specifically why we're updating this every quarter, or at least twice a year. Okay, so just to give you an example, I'm going to share a new screen, and this will be my dear friend, here, let's see. Ryan, can you help me out and let me know when you see?
I sure will.
You see it?
I don't, not right now.
Okay. I'm just trying to get to this, the right page. Bear with me, switching to a web page.
All right. I see what looks like chemistry.
Is that chemistry?
Yeah, like a Lewis structure.
Okay. Sorry, this it's being a little difficult. There we go. Do you see?
Boom.
Love Roads?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for bearing with me. Okay. So NLR, the experience herself, who is joining us today. Her bio is pretty solid, and I like how she lists everything just as how we were talking about, and obviously she went a lot deeper. So just with this as a reference, this is probably a longer bio, and obviously it's on her webpage. So having a longer bio, this is a great option, again, for anybody who's interested in your work to cut and paste, right? There's a lot to cut and paste here, depending on who Neek is interested in working with at the moment, right? So introduction. We're just going to dissect this based on the parts that we have, and you can write yours as we continue. So Neek Love Rose is a multi-hyphenate hip-hop artist and organizer, activist from Detroit, Michigan, right? So right there, you already have her name. You have a description of her craft, what she does, and where she's from. And that's not even, the first sentence isn't even complete. And we have all that information packed in there. Okay. We go to let's skip over to imagine the spirit of Bob Marley, the conscious content of a Lauryn Hill or Common with the confidence of Jay-Z. And you'll barely scratch the surface of what she has to offer musically. So right there, again, that's going back to our formula, that A plus B with C formula. You see how Neek used that, but elevated it. Again, that's a simple formula, but feel free to elevate that however you choose to. Okay. I like how she started off with imagine the spirit of Bob Marley. I love that part. The conscious content. So she's giving some texture to what about these artists that she pulls from them or has some sort of likeness or similarity with these artists. So it's very helpful in a descriptive way. We'll go into a description of her music. Pulling from a wide variety of sounds and influences, Neek Love Rose creates music that is for the people to inspire the people, infused with universal truths. She's talking about her content, right? This is what's in the music. Infused with universal truths, Neek's music elevates positive vibrations within the universal collective conscience and promotes social awareness and responsibility. So she's telling you about her music. She's telling you what's in her music. She's telling you what her music does. She's telling you the outcome of her music. So let's continue. For her live show, Neek transforms the conscious from a conscious MC to a freedom fighting rocker. So again, we're being really descriptive. We're using a lot of imagery. We want to spark the senses. You know, we have 5 senses. So whenever you could use that language, you know, even if you aren't a poet, you want to dig into your writer and try to hit as many of those 5 senses as you can as you describe yourself. I'll just kind of skip through, but we have some of the I'll highlight. We have some of the places that she's performed, right? Some of the accomplishments. This is where she gets into them. Performing at major festivals, headline venues including South by Southwest, North by Northeast, Dally in the Alley, so on and so forth. So these are her accomplishments. This is where she talks about it. Right here, she is currently in production of an album series called Love Us to be released later this year. Okay, so this is in the moment. This is where she is now. So we have a sense of what she's doing, and we know how to plug in if we are looking to collaborate. Okay, so again, this is information that's very helpful for people who are just finding out about you. Okay, so let's see where we are with time. 48. Okay, let's pause it right there. Do we have any questions about anything I said so far?
No questions at the moment.
Okay, cool. So that is the bio. Again, we want to have something that's engaging, something that's compelling, and something that leaves a lot to cut and paste. Basically, we want to give people the language to use about us. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing. Let me pull this. Let me pull this back up. Okay. So the next thing I'll talk about quickly is our PROs. PROs. Hold on, once I get to this, forgive me. Okay. All right, PROs. Okay, while I'm finding it, basically PROs are performance rights organizations, and this comes by request of people who are a little bit cautious about signing up for ASCAP because they don't know like why they need it or what the purpose is. But a lot of people do need it. So this is specifically for musicians. So PROs, there are many PROs, professional rights organizations, that hold on, or rather collect your royalties from the world, your performance royalties. And there's all sorts of different royalties, but ASCAP and BMI are the two more popular ones that you want to go with. So I'm just going to, when I can share the screen, I'm just going to walk you through the process of signing up as a member. Okay. Forgive me. This. All right. There we go. Ryan, do you see this ASCAP window?
I do.
All right. Beautiful. So, when you sign up with ASCAP, I'm just going to show the ASCAP version. BMI, CSAC, and some of the other performance rights organizations are pretty similar. You're going to need the same sort of information, and they're split up in a similar way. So me talking about ASCAP is sort of, the same as talking about the other PROs. So quickly, writer and a publisher. You want to sign up as a writer and a publisher. The royalties are split evenly between writers and publishers. So basically, when you write a song, it's split up into two sections, and I'll show you here, writer and publisher. So this is how you register a song. When you're in here, you are a writer. Good, I'm just going to. Okay. Okay, you're a writer, and you're able to choose your role in writing. So that's what this is about. You're either a composer-author who creates the lyrics and musical elements. You're a composer only, create musical elements. Author, you write the lyrics. Arranger, you modify, so sort of like remixing, modify musical elements. You adapt, modify pre-existing lyrics, or you translate. So these are the different types of writers when you sign up with a writer. A publisher is basically the business end. If you have an LLC, the LLC of your music. So you want to sign up as a publisher as well, because it's split up 50 and 50. So I think we're sort of running out of time, so I'm not going to go too deep into this process, like in the application, but you can see here, it still makes it easy. You're going to list your legal name, mailing address, email address, your EIN, so you need a company, and of course, being 18 or older, okay? So these are just the basic things that you need when you're signing up as a publisher and a writer. It costs $100 application fee, and this is how when you are writing music and putting music out into the world, this is how it's attributed to you. Obviously, there's still copyrights. We're not getting into that today, but this is how your royalties are being collected. It's through professional rights performance rights organizations, PROs. When it comes to registering a work, once you're in here, again, here we go. Where's that pop up? Right here. Boom. This explains it all. ASCAP's song shares are split 50-50 between writers and publishers. The total share of publishers must equal 50%. That's your business, 50%. And the same with your writers, that's the other 50%. And they total 100%. So that's just something, just a brief little surface overview of something that has confused some people that I talk to, and the importance of signing up for both writer and publisher. And you want to do this at the same time. It's $100, but it's well worth the investment, and it keeps track of your songs, and it applies an IPI number to your song, or an ID number to your song when you release it out into the world. So I'll leave it there for now.